One each at the Bernabeu in the second of 5 Clásicos. Penalties that could have been, shots that perhaps should have been, some important saves, some big tackles from Pepe tonight. And a penalty for Messi. First goal against the Mourinho side. Then there was a penalty for Ronaldo. That's his first ever goal against Barcelona. Other games, of course, in this week 32 in Spain have taken place tonight. Victory for Valencia away at Almeria. It was 3-0 to them. Roberto Soldado scoring once again. Huge goal from Miku for Getafe. Massive result that for Michel, who've been struggling in recent weeks. They've beaten Sevilla here. And Malaga have beaten Mallorca by 3-0 this evening. 2 for the former Real Madrid striker Julio Baptista. Here's the table then as things stand overnight in Spain. Barcelona, of course, still 8 points clear of Real Madrid. Valencia firm up that final automatic qualification spot for the Champions League. Their cushion, of course, is extended by 3 points. No progression, no movement forward in terms of points from Sevilla or Mallorca. Significant move, of course, in the bottom half, most notably for Getafe, they moving up. They were 16th ahead of kick-off tonight. Look at that jump, up to 12th. Some breathing space for them, and also significantly, a rise for the former Real Madrid manager Manuel Pellegrini. Malaga out of the drop zone and up to 1 each here, 2 goals from the penalty spot. Got to ask the question, how does that change things in terms of all 4 games? The progression towards the cup final comes Wednesday, then those Champions League semi-finals. Before we dissect that game and go through the minutiae of it, Gaiska and John, I wonder who has the psychological edge on the back of this tonight, given the fact that Real Madrid were down to 10 men for 40 minutes and they go away with a point. What do you sense in here tonight this evening?
I think definitely Real Madrid. They came back with 10 men playing home, and probably with 10 men they had more chances than in the rest of the game. So definitely for the next game on the final, Real Madrid is coming psychologically and with more confidence.
Did Jose get his tactics right, John?
Well, I think at the start, you know, we were all a little bit confused by the formation in the middle of the park. Didn't really play too much at all, and strangely enough, not for the first time, when they went down to 10 men, they performed a lot better. And you know, the changes that he made definitely were positive, and I thought Barcelona probably relaxed a little bit when they went in front, and the full credit to Madrid. I mean, they've struck a big psychological blow, I think, with the cup game still to come. Although if you'd have said to Barcelona before the game 1-1, you stay 8 points clear, they would have taken that, you know, and Madrid probably wouldn't have. But on the basis of what we've seen during the 90 minutes, I think Madrid can be very, very pleased with the way the game finished, and particularly the second half performance.
Raul Albiol, of course, will miss the cup final now because of that straight red. We got your opinion on the penalty that led to Barcelona taking the lead. What was yours?
On the penalty kick, yeah, I would be disappointed in the Real Madrid defender there. I don't think there was any need for that. I think Mourinho put 3 players in front of him there to stop that kind of thing happening. And I mean, a sloppy defending, real sloppy defending, and I don't think you can have too many complaints there. I mean, I think you only had to see that, you know, when he walked off, I think Mourinho looked the other way. It'd be interesting to see how many more games he plays this season. But I thought after that they relaxed, Barcelona, you know, and okay, maybe we're winning 1-0 in the Bernabeu, which is a great result for us. The league's over. But full credit to Madrid, they came back strongly with one man less, and in the end they could have, Khedira's had a chance there, they might even have sneaked it. So as I said earlier, psychologically going into these 3 games, I think Madrid have got a bit of a boost this evening.
Huge protest from Barcelona for the award of the second penalty. Your thoughts on that? How did you see that one, Gaiska?
I think it's a penalty. I think I don't think it touched the ball. No, I don't think it goes down. And anyway, you playing against Madrid, you're winning 1-0. you know the pressure that is on the referee, and probably Alves should have stayed on his feet and don't go down and don't challenging him, because you know there's a lot of pressure. Mourinho has been talking about he's always finishing his games against Barcelona with 10 men. Today again he got another game with 10 men. But like I said, Alves should have stayed and not challenge the striker.
Barcelona had periods of possession, probably didn't use it as effectively as we would have hoped they would have done this evening, at least from their point of view. Real Madrid had more chances on the night. They may feel unlucky not to have won this game.
Well, I think, looking overall, particularly, as I say, after the adversity, of the sending off, I thought they were terrific, Madrid. I thought they stuck to their task in really difficult circumstances, and maybe, Barcelona one eye on the fact that they're in front, that a draw's a good result for them, irrespective of what happens on the field. But as I said earlier, with these 3 games that they have to play, supporter-wise, player-wise, or whatever, Madrid will believe now that they really do have a chance in these 3 games on the basis of what we saw in the second half. So after the 5-0 defeat in the Nou Camp, what we've seen this evening will reassure Madrid a little bit, I think.
Jose shuffled his team and his formation a couple of times after the sending off. How surprised were you that it was Xabi Alonso that was taken off at that period of time?
I think we were quite confused when he started to move players around. And personally, I think I didn't think that would work out, taking Xabi Alonso out with Kedira and Pepe, just giving pressure and closing down in the middle of the park. But it did work. I mean, he put Arbeloa in the back, and Pepe came in the middle with Kedira, and they really worked hard. Pepe sometimes pushing to the limit and risking getting a red card or yellow card or second yellow card. But they did that really hard work.
How impressed were you with Pepe, John? I was going to ask, because he started in the middle, dropped back to centre half, went back into the middle, and he could have easily gone tonight, couldn't he? He was putting himself about a bit.
I don't think we'll see Kedira and Pepe play as a pair of central midfielders again for Madrid, but circumstances tonight, the way the game was going, the sending off, Mourinho was quick to think, this is what we need to do. If I'm going to get 3 players up there, I'll see Ronaldo and Adebayor, I've got to make it, at least we don't lose a second goal, and they did that, and they went for it, and I thought that they did, as I say, I thought that they did very, very well. Barcelona disappointed me a little bit second half.
Standing back and looking at it a little more objectively, when we look back to Jose's team selection, do you think a draw kind of suited him tonight, that he would have taken that? A win would have been marvellous, but would he have taken a draw as a platform just to build some confidence, not only of his team, but the fans too?
I mean, seeing the game at the end, probably yes. Maybe in the beginning, before the game, he would have been happy with the draw. But also, Madrid had a big chances to score in the last minute, last second, as well as Barcelona. So I think both are happy with the draw. Yeah.
Messi scores for the first time against the Mourinho side. It was from the spot, so Jose can still claim that he can stop him in open play. That will build some confidence too, I suspect.
Yeah, probably. I think as well, going back to your first question, I think Mourinho started off with that team, but he did have players in the dugout who could come on if they could hold their own after an hour or whatever and make a difference. Barcelona didn't. If you look at the Barcelona bench and compare it to Real Madrid's, there's no comparison, I mean, Barcelona went for it right from the off, and if you like, offensively maybe tied off a bit, whereas Madrid, with the inclusion of Ozil and Adebayor, were able to bring forward attacking players on for the last 20-30 minutes, something that possibly, apart from Afellay later on, Barcelona weren't able to do,
It's the value of what so many people out here have been talking about, the fact that Barca have perhaps the best team in the world, but Real Madrid have the best squad in over 4 games. That's a priceless thing to have, isn't it?
It is, especially in a season where you're involved in Champions League, you got international players, you're in the cup, you reach the final cup, so many games at the end of the season, and a big squad, every single player is going to be important. And we said this so many times this season. Real Madrid has a lot bigger squad and better squad probably than Barcelona, which Barcelona has 12, 13 players. If any of them are missing, they haven't really got a replacement for a player like the quality the one is not there.
How big a bonus again potentially for Real Madrid is it, John, that Ronaldo has finally scored against Barcelona? Will that help him in terms of his mindset? Because inside the camp they've been calling him the anxious one over the last few days.
We mentioned earlier, it seems strange to think that he hadn't scored against Barcelona and Messi hadn't scored against Madrid. So, I mean, what works for one will work for the other. But now, I mean, it's so difficult to choose between these two teams, particularly in cup matches now, you know. One-off games. There he goes. And he's not going to make any mistake. Well, a good save from Valdez. Unlucky we'd won early. They hit the post as well. But I mean, we talk about the games coming up, the cup final or whatever. It's so difficult to choose between these sides now at this stage. A cup final, one off. The two Champions League games again will be tremendous. Lots and lots of tension. And as I say at the beginning, Real Madrid will definitely come out of this. Although Barcelona have got the result that they wanted, from what we've seen, Madrid will definitely come out of this reforced considerably, I think, and they will believe now that they can beat Barcelona, which is very, very important.
Carlos Puyol, his inclusion tonight was a big bonus for Barcelona. Came off, having picked up a knock, or the injury certainly didn't see him through the problem that he was having pre-match. Worth the risk if he's now out for the other 3 games?
Well, only Guardiola and Puyol will know. You know, I mean, when you've been out for as long as Puyol has been with a knee injury, particularly a game there's so much tension on it. You know, it's frequent to see players suffer with a muscle problem. Not the actual injury just kept him out, but you know, the muscles are more tense this kind of game in this atmosphere. It's really electric in here this evening, and possibly Puyol has felt a bit of a twinge in the muscle, and if he has, then you know you're looking at least 10 days. Don't seem too concerned there, mind, does it?
There were even little cracks, tiny little cracks that we spotted pitch side, weren't there, between Messi and Villa in this portion of the pitch here when the ball wasn't played short, and normally they turn around and wave and smile and walk off. A little bit of tension there. There was a little bit of angst between the two.
Well, you're playing against Real Madrid, you want to win, and also every single player in the world, when you play in these kind of games, you want the ball. You want every single chance you have to try to score. And even Messi, I think, is even more. And obviously Villa wants to score because it's 7 games he hasn't scored. So I think he also was getting a bit anxious about having his chances and score a goal today, as well as Messi. About all the talking about he haven't scored against Mourinho's team, he needs to score against Madrid. So, of course, there's tension in these games. Otherwise, it wouldn't be these games.
OK, you've touched on Wednesday, of course, the Copa del Rey final between the two at the Mestalla. First one between the two, 21 years. You know all about the last time they played. Touch of nostalgia coming up for you, John, in just a moment.
I had a good view of the last one.
You certainly did. Losing manager on that occasion.
Yeah.
We'll talk Copa del Rey final in a moment. And, of course, Champions League semi-finals. Real came out top on both last time they met. Copa del Rey final next up then, Wednesday night with us. Sky Scomendieta and John Toshak still with us, and then those crucial Champions League semi-finals. I wonder what we've seen here tonight, will it in any way change the thinking about Wednesday's game compared to what the managers may have been thinking prior to kick-off tonight? Will their approach change, considering what they've seen?
Based on what we've seen in the game, I don't think so. I don't think tactically will change anything what probably either Guardiola or Mourinho were thinking before. The only thing obviously it's Puyol missing. That's a big thing for Barcelona. And for the rest, obviously the moral of Real Madrid is bringing a lot of confidence to them, and